Hello, thanks for joining me today. I'm Carrie Van Sant, an architect and project manager with DLR Group. We are an architecture, engineering, and planning firm that has been facilitating the master facility plan process with BPS 101 schools since early 2019. Today, I'm going to provide a summary of the facility condition assessments and the results of our findings. So the facility condition assessments were conducted in spring of 2020. This assessment included architects from our team walking the facilities and noting, based on observational findings, the condition of different components of a building. So based on our observations of materials, finishes, and then also integrating in various items from reports provided to us by BPS 101. Those reports included a review of the existing health, life, safety surveys, the capital project plan, which tracks things like paving, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and major building system needs. The BHS sports facility master plan that was conducted and presented in 2013. Roof inspection reports for each facility that were completed in July of 2019, and playground inspection reports dated 2018. These assessment items were input into an online database called Facility Insight for each school. And the condition of each item was noted. Those items that were primarily in poor and fair condition were also costed for repair or replacement. Assessment items were then prioritized based on the condition and urgency of need. And that prioritization matrix, as I'll go over in just a moment, was paired with the district's existing prioritization matrix. It's important to note that physical assessments are just one component of the master plan process that we conduct. It does not measure the adequacy or readiness and functional needs of a facility. So those components also need to be reviewed and were reviewed as part of this master planning process. So the physical condition of building systems and its components are typically defined in 4 different categories. For the purposes of our review, these 4 categories are excellent, good, fair, and poor. So excellent condition or items in that category are those that are new or newer with no corrective actions required, but should be tracked for eventual repair or replacement. Because at some point in time, that material or system will age out, and to be proactive, those items should be anticipated and slated and planned for future upgrade or replacement. Items in good condition are generally sound and performing well, but might show some early signs of normal wear and tear. Repair or replacement, similar to those items in excellent condition, should be tracked for those items for anticipated future replacement and upgrades, so that, again, you can be proactive instead of reactive in addressing anticipated maintenance needs. Items in fair condition are those items that have some corrective action needed. So they may be exhibiting signs of significant wear and tear, deferred maintenance, potential previous repairs or patching. Repair or replacement will be required due to the component or material, its existing condition, and its anticipated useful life. Those items in poor condition are showing significant age. They're flawed. They might be functioning intermittently or completely unreliable. They are showing signs of obvious deferred maintenance or evidence of previous repair. Could be patching, could be retrofit kits to prolong the life of that equipment. Sometimes parts become obsolete, or there's just an inherent deficiency in a piece of equipment or a material from when it was manufactured or potentially installed. Additionally, the present condition of this item could cause additional elements or systems that it's tied to deteriorate faster than anticipated. So either full replacement is needed or repairs are required to completely restore the system or item into a good condition to prevent premature failure and prolong the useful life of the item. As I mentioned earlier, the assessment prioritization process was tied to the and aligned with BPS 101's prioritization matrix, which was utilized and published in the capital projects plan for fiscal years 2018 through 2021. The priority rankings for the assessment items from our assessments were ranked in 4 different priority orders. 1 as must do, 2 as should do, 3 as would like to do, and 4 as future, so anticipated maintenance items. Priority 1s compare to the district's prioritization matrix and include those capital maintenance items deemed in critical or poor condition. Priority 2 are those items in fair condition, and additional capital improvement items, so those items related to program or functional needs that are deemed as having high urgency. Priority 3 are those items that are in good condition. They need to be planned for, proactively measured and reviewed annually to understand the system or the materials condition and track it for future maintenance. Similarly, priority 4 are those items in excellent condition, as well as capital improvements that are deemed to have more of a low urgency and need. So our assessment findings across all facilities in the district showed predominant amount of items, assessment items in priority 2 category, followed by those future and would like to do items in priorities 4 and 3. The least amount of items was indicated and noted in the must do or priority 1 items, but note that the total approximate cost of those items in priority 1 and 2 categories is approximately $71 million across the district. How does this break down by building? On this slide, you can see that Batavia High School is at the top in the salmon color, followed by Rotolo Middle School, and then the elementary schools and the early childhood center at the bottom. The highlighted portion of the bars is indicative of those items and total costs that make up the priority 1 and 2 costs by school. So for Batavia High School, that's 32 million. Rotolo Middle School is approximately 11 million. And then the elementary schools range from approximately 7 million down to 2 million, with Batavia Early Childhood at less than $1 million. So what do these assessment findings tell us? We utilize facility condition index equation to understand the anticipated deferred maintenance or the critical items to be repaired or replaced over the estimated replacement value of that particular building or facility. That gives us a facility condition index or FCI. That equation gives us a decimal value, and on a range of 0 being very good to 1 being very poor, or consideration for divesting and renewing of the facility, we utilize this to better understand where or how to best invest the district's dollars. So if the facility condition index exceeds 50%, the facility should be looked at more closely as a possible candidate for replacement or divestment. This process helps us place a value on future capital costs that may be incurred relative to the cost to build new. And we prioritize items because it is important to understand critical needs versus low priority repairs and updates. So again, this facility condition index is using the priority 1 and 2 costs over the current replacement value for each facility. It's important to note that the FCI does not typically include, nor did it in this process, full system lifecycle analyses or the cost to change spaces to meet program needs or the addition of new programs. These were all considered separately and are not included when determining the physical cost of deferred maintenance and whether or not to renovate or build new. So the current replacement value reflects a 1-for-1 replacement based on the existing facility's respective size. So we take the existing building square footage, we take a cost per square foot to reconstruct that facility, construction cost, and we do a simple mathematical equation of the square footage times that replacement value to get us the current replacement value for the facility. At having just under 1 million square feet total for the district, the total estimated current replacement value is just under $315 million. Note that the current replacement value is approximate construction cost. On top of that, to create a turnkey solution, you will have soft costs such as the fees to design and engineer a new facility, as well as permitting, environmental, technology, and furniture related costs. Those all make up soft costs. So those would be added to this value. This is essentially the cost to just construct the facility of a similar size. We then use that current replacement value to give us our FCI snapshot across the district. So the important categories to look at are the 3 columns on the right. It lists here each of the district's facilities, and for the sake of comparison, we did split out the Early Childhood Center from Alice Gustafson, although they are attached to one another. So utilizing the priority 1 and 2 construction cost values based on our assessment findings for each school and the current replacement value, we're able to calculate the facility condition index for all priority 1 and 2 items on the right-hand side. You can see with the being one of the newer aged facilities in the district, smaller square footage, the Batavia Early Childhood Center has a really low FCI. So it's in great condition. It still should be targeted for future maintenance and updates that are needed for materials and equipment. There are half of the district's facilities or a little more that are in a fair condition. So that category between roughly 13 to 27%, depending on the facility, where the priority 1 and 2 items make up that percentage of the current replacement value. There are 3 facilities that are either in poor or over that 50% threshold that we mentioned considering what to do with that facility. Where's the best investment for the district's dollars when it comes to updating just to meet physical condition needs of a facility? The facilities, including HC Storm, JB Nelson, and Louise White School, are those 3 that are either tipping or over that threshold of understanding whether divestment or replacement is the next step. So again, partnered with the educational adequacy and readiness and understanding whether the buildings are meeting functional needs is another key component, which only adds to this condition index for a facility. So we've taken a look at the district's existing facility condition assessments and needs. Now we're going to take a look at planning considerations or recommended annual benchmark expenditures. In 2016, the Center for Green Schools published a report called The State of Our Schools, America's K-12 Facilities. And in this report, the authors used a data and standards-based framework to analyze 20 years of publicly available national and state data on public facility spending. This was for fiscal years 1994 through 2013. What they found is that nearly 100,000 buildings encompassing 7.5 billion gross square feet across the nation were in high need of facility maintenance and repair. And they summarized that the annual modern standard for responsible stewardship of US schools is approximately 4% of the current replacement cost. So nationally, that equates to about $87 billion a year. This report also proposes recommendations for investments, innovations, and reforms to improve learning environments for children all across the country. So this is a snapshot from that report. The following proposed national standards for school facilities are based on building industry best practices. The percentages in the 4 categories shown here are based on a facility's current replacement value that should be invested annually to maintain school buildings in good condition. Now, it's important to note that local conditions will vary. So for example, if a facility for a school district is in very poor condition, it will likely need more than 1% annually toward the deferred maintenance to be able to get it to a good threshold, and then proactively plan for deferred maintenance items in the future. So when taking a look at this graphic and the different categories, the district predominantly spends most of its O&M budget between 2 categories. So annual maintenance and operations and periodic renewals. The total district O&M budget is $7.1 million, or 2.3% of that current replacement value. So that $315 million. Most of it is allocated to annual M&O, and about $2.2 million of it, or 0.7% of the current replacement value, is allocated toward periodic renewals. When taking a look outside of that annual M&O recommendation, the district should be, or is recommended to spend, approximately $12.6 million to be able to address deferred maintenance, periodic renewals, and renovations and alterations. Again, the district's total budget for all 4 of these categories is approximately $7.1 million, or 2.3% of the current replacement value. When we consider a recommendation of 3% of the current replacement value just for annual maintenance and operations, the total recommended annual expenditures across all 4 categories for the district would equate more towards $22 million. So why is this information important? It's important to understand the entire need related to facility condition across the district, as well as understand where the district is able to, where and how the district is able to currently fund the deferred maintenance and periodic renewals of facilities to meet educational programming needs using their budgeted dollar amount. So we thank you for joining us today, and we hope that this summary provided additional insight on the condition and physical need of the district's facility. We invite you to go to the district's website to learn more about the Educational Master Facility Plan process. You can go to the website and under About, select Building Our Future Together to find out more about the process and understand the videos and deliverables and additional details related to each of the master plan phases throughout the process. Thank you and have a great day.